Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Friday. Just want to check in and share some thoughts I jotted down earlier in the week and have been just meaning to get it out at some point when I had a moment. So um, it's been a solid week, and it's been a solid way to start off a Friday. Stuck with the third day at the gym this morning, and anyhow, I just wanted to share following. It's going to kind of follow up on the last video that I posted, which is kind of this theme that I've been on, which is when I decided to switch up my life, which is moving from Seattle, closing our business, selling everything, moving from our hometown in Seattle, Washington, and picking up in kind of a almost a whim and moving to Nashville, Tennessee, and starting a new job, joining new gyms, and meeting new people, and all that stuff. And we had only ever visited Nashville once we'd pretty much already decided to move here, right? So things happened pretty quickly, but basically it's the end of January now, and we, had closed our business. I think it was by mid-October was when the last kind of jobs were getting processed. So it's been October, November, December, September, October, November, December, January, right? So we're about 3 months into this massive change in my life, and I think what I've tried to do anytime I've had a big shift or change in my life is just try and stick to the absolute basics, and a few of those are things like exercise, right? Because that's always been huge. I remember at one of the toughest points in my young life, which thinking back, it wasn't even like it was necessarily that tough, but it was just, I was working some things out. I doubled down on my fitness and got really into running, and just figured if I was sitting idle for too long, I would have time to think about the mistakes that I had made leading up to what put me in that position. And so I thought, well, if I just don't sit around for very long, if I'm just, every night I'm just going out for a run and running hard and distracting myself, then this season will pass, and I'll be better off for it, and I'll be in good shape. And so things like that, as well as um, trying to wrap my head around or dive my brain into material that's relevant to what I'm doing. So the best previous example I could think of is um, when my brother and I were starting our business. The month that I had in New Zealand prior to getting started, I spent pretty much the whole month on YouTube watching keynote speeches, interviews, any material I could on running a successful business, from Fortune 500 CEOs to founders, to listening to podcasts like How I Built This. So again, just trying to give myself as many tools as I can heading into this new situation. And so I'm making this a little more long-winded than I planned, but basically the point is, when with this most recent shift in my life, and I had decided I wanted to go into a pure sales position, um, I came back across a guy I was familiar with, but didn't really know his material that well, and it's Grant Cardone, like I had mentioned on previous videos. And so I've been doing a huge deep dive into, I've read one of his books. I'm partway through another. I'm just subscribed to his online platform, listen to a lot of the sales material. Right now I'm listening to kind of the raw file of one of his books called Be Obsessed or Be Average. And so just a couple of, I guess, just one thing I felt, couple things I felt like were worth sharing, was what I think has kind of shaken me out of the complacent realm I was in prior to this massive shift, right? And in thinking back on it, I got comfortable because I lost context of what was important or what was necessary to be in the place that I want to be. And what I mean by that is I was comfortable with, hey, I was making a little bit of money, enough to kind of cover bills, cover expenses, and thought that we were, grooming what would eventually be an awesome business and an awesome livelihood. And I just didn't realize the gap between complacency and just allowing sort of life to pass you by versus building indestructible wealth, right? And I thought I was on, or the connection between those two is that if you don't think you need indestructible wealth, then it's easy to get complacent, right? Because once you get a little drip, once you get a little income, you start to think, okay, I'm good. This sustains my lifestyle. I don't need much more than this. I can settle here, right? And therein lies the huge danger, which is, if something were to happen to you, if you were to be physically injured, if you are supporting a family and were to die, if you got fired, or if some liability happened in the business that you're running and your life got turned upside down, without a massive infrastructure to keep you going, you're putting yourself and your loved ones at risk, right? And so I didn't recognize that at the time. I thought, hey, since we had a pretty decent thing going, it felt like it was on the right track. We'll get there eventually. And I'm able to cover my expenses right now. What's the big deal? I can defer gratification. I don't need a lot of money right now. I thought I'll defer gratification, and eventually I'll get to where I want to go. And so that has been flipped on its head now that I've kind of been given a new framework to work within. And so yeah, I think now the goal, rather than just, hey, being comfortable, is this indestructible wealth, because now that I've gotten hitched, now that big life things are happening for us, a dog and more responsibility and all that stuff, it's like we have to go well beyond what I previously thought was required to run a life, and so I'm extremely motivated to do so right now. And in order to do so, I have to deliver in the marketplace in a big way, consistently every day, and grow quickly. So I've been I've been super focused on connecting with these potential clients, and trying to figure out how can I overwhelm them with service, and literally, stifle them with being served and feeling like they're being taken care of, to where, people start to gravitate towards me, and then I'm able to attract that level of income and wealth that I'm now aiming at. So again, just wanted to put that out there, and I think as I'm trying to explain it, I'm sorting it out in my head. But again, it's this idea that when I didn't think that indestructible wealth right now was necessary, I was able to get complacent. And now that I've re-engineered that, I don't see complacency coming anytime soon. So I hope you're all being productive. I hope you're all finishing the week strong, and I look forward to checking in very, very soon. So catch you all later. Bye.